Alright, just had to make an adjustment there because I had the microphone off, and it would have been kind of embarrassing to do an hour's worth of commentary and then realize that none of it was there. Anyways, I'm back here in Gran Turismo 7 with yet another AI sort of race idea. This being a sort of GT World Invitational series where I have a select grid of GT cars. We're pitting, if I'm correct, 9 countries against each other. There will be I guess you could say a country standings for points and a driver standings for points. And the only country that won't be in the driver standings is the R.A.F. For those who don't know what that means, that's the Russia Athletes Federation. It's because of the way this game works, one of the countries would have to have only one car, and it just made sense considering that, you know, Russia has a history for being banned from competitions. That is why the Russia Athlete Federation exists, so that Russian athletes don't get screwed over. Just, yeah, I don't know, if you really want to get into the politics behind that, look that up on your own time. The grid order has been set randomly, based on a randomizer completely. So, I'll take you through the grid. Representing Germany in pole position is current Formula 1 driver Nico Hülkenberg. Antonio Giovinazzi is representing Italy. Lewis Hamilton is the first driver for the United Kingdom. Jarno Trulli will be the second driver representing Italy. Joseph Newgarden will be the first driver to represent the United States, alongside Kyle Larson. Valtteri Bottas is the first driver to represent the country of Finland, while Felipe Massa and Elio Castroneves are representing Brazil. Pierre Gasly is representing France. Lando Norris is the second driver to represent the United Kingdom. Yuki Tsunoda and Takuma Sato are your representatives for Japan, and trust me, that was a very close battle between Sato or Kobayashi for that second seat. But I went with Sato. Raikkonen is the second driver for Finland. Fernando Alonso is the first driver for Spain. Daniel Kvyat is the Russia Athlete Federation driver. He is the only driver on the grid who does not have a country-specific car. Due to the fact that Russia livery, there might have been a Russia livery. Since it's the RAF, there's no, country livery. Every other car has a livery that, if it's not literally the country's flag, it's a livery that's supposed to look very much like that. Simon Pagenaud is the other French driver. Yes, I could have chose Ocon, but I decided that I didn't want to just go with, all F1 drivers. Which is also why we have Alex Palou in the other Spain mobile, because, again, I could have had Carlos Sainz. I could have had Carlos Sainz Sr. or Jr., but I didn't want Jr. because he's an F1 driver, and Sr. is a rally driver, so we went with Palou, who, I would say he competes in IndyCar, but recently, as of this year, competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In fact, he's not the only driver in this grid to have competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Antonio Giovinazzi won it the year prior. I don't remember if he was on the winning team this year. And Sebastian Vettel is going to round out the grid. Unlucky. Yeah, his teammate starts on pole, and he starts in last. But if he has a good car, hopefully he can make his way through the field, and I have the Hellcat safety car. It's irrelevant. Anyways, without further ado, it's time to get this show on the road. As into turn 1. Looks like we've got a battle here as Valtteri Bottas going down the inside of Kyle Larson to try and take that position away. We've got the Brazilian cars battling each other. Tight pack here into turn 1. Nico Hülkenberg retains the lead. couple position shuffle as Kyle Larson's making a way down the grid. Fernando Alonso's already up to 11th. He started at the back of the field. That Aston Martin looks very fast. While his teammate Palou is struggling at the back, Sebastian Vettel has made up 2 positions. And Sato does not look too hot. It surprises me because on paper the Supra looked like one of the better cars. The top 2 have broken away, which might cause an issue because my PS4 has awful. Jarno Trulli pressuring the McLaren of Lewis Hamilton. Doesn't quite have the room to make a move though. As Vettel has dropped behind Palou, who has begun his charge. Nico Hülkenberg has a comfortable lead on Antonio Giovinazzi. The driver from Germany, or Deutschland, depending on whether or not you are from or not from the country. Antonio Giovinazzi is looking to try and keep up with Hülkenberg, but there's nothing he can do as here comes Jarno Trulli now down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Joseph Newgarden looking to follow him. Joseph Newgarden this year went back-to-back in the Indy 500 and won the 24-hour Rolex 24-hour. He doesn't quite make the move on Hamilton as Trulli slips into third. Ferrari looking great. Italy very strong. There's a lot of clouds looming over the area, so we could have potential rains here. As Valtteri Bottas, Helio Castroneves tries to make the move, but Bottas does a great job of defending, and now Castroneves has Larson to deal with. And Alonso, who's made it around Pierre Gasly. Fernando Alonso is proving that age doesn't matter when it comes to skill here in racing. And here he is, going down the right side of Kyle Larson. Larson covers him off. We got a lot of pack racing here. Felipe Massa trying to hold off Pierre Gasly. Raikkonen, don't remember where he started, but trying to make his way to the pack as the McLaren looks very slow. Britain's not going to have a great time. They're going to have to work on the setup for that car for the next race. Out here is Nico Hülkenberg further extending the lead. Let's go ahead and get the car details up on the screen. All the drivers have elected to run hards by the looks of it. And for some reason the AI use TCS. Beats me. And these cars have been built to a sort of regulation to try and keep it close. Some cars might be evened off. We'll see how that works. That Brazil car is good looking. I like the way that car looks. Tsunoda is in 13th, under attack from Alex Palou, the man who leads the NTT IndyCar standings as of this race currently. Are we going to have any moves down the inside of turn 1 here? Alex Palou is going to keep to himself here. Nico Hülkenberg has begun to pull away. We turn back on the car data if we do get some rain here, just to see what the track looks like on the water meter, but well, it is very dark and gloomy outside. The track is still dry. Giovinazzi and Trulli behind for sure, but not too far behind. Lewis Hamilton struggling in that McLaren. He is down in fourth. He's got a hungry Joseph Newgarden and Valtteri Bottas right behind him. Newgarden can't quite find a way around Hamilton yet. We go on board with the American driver. He's got to run on Hamilton. Will he go somewhere with it, or is there not enough room? Looks to the outside. Hamilton keeps him covered off. Let's see if Lewis can keep him behind for this next sort of isn't straight. Lewis looking for a good exit. But is it good enough? Here comes Newgarden looking for room. This is such a tight circuit around this area. Has a look. Here he is. Oh, he pressures, but he can't find the room. Joseph Newgarden making moves as Castroneves tried to make a move on Bottas there. Valtteri Bottas, Helio Castroneves are into the pits. What could this be for? There doesn't seem to be any rain on the circuit. Oh, looks like they made contact and got damaged. How disappointing. Here comes Felipe Massa now trying to make a move. Fernando Alonso is up into fifth. Oh, and he's loose out of the corner. Can he retain it? You can hear the supercharger on that Aston as Alonso tries to power his way past his old teammate from McLaren, and that's one from years ago. That Aston Martin is quick. Alonso making quick work of his competitors, while his fellow countryman, Alex Palou, finds himself in P11. Here comes Alonso now, looking for room. Don't mind the fact that they are going intolerably slow. For some reason, they only go at like 65% throttle unless you're following them. Since I parked my car in the pit, they don't go full throttle. That's why these cars are upgraded heavily to try and make the speeds a little more realistic. Hamilton's doing a great job of blocking. Alonso is sitting behind. Gotta be frustrated at this point. Gets a good round out of the corner. Where's Alonso going to go? Hamilton's going to try and make that car as wide as possible. Alonso has a look to the inside. Here he goes. There's contact made. He's got to watch behind him. His Newgarden isn't too far back yet. And he doesn't want to make too much contact. His damage would definitely stun his progress through the field. Good God, they go slow through there. Oh, Alonso's loose on corner exits. That car is sliding. But the straight line speed is incredible. He's going to make the move on Hamilton, but now Newgarden's going to have to worry about pressure from Massa. Here he comes down the inside, Felipe Massa, but he goes wide. Does Newgarden get the position back? No, Massa. He has taken 6 for Newgarden. That GT is struggling. Alonso still behind Lewis Hamilton. We thought he had that move made, but he does not, as Lewis has actually been catching up to Trulli. I don't know if Lewis found late race pace, or maybe just later in the run. Tires have warmed up, the car's more dialed in, but these top cars are getting a little closer. It did separate a good bit at the first part of the race, but now, not looking too bad. With Alonso still looking for a way around Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis knows how to defend in that car. But now, Alonso's going to want to make his way around because Felipe Massa behind him. Not going to want to sit behind Fernando, especially considering the history from those two drivers. Nico Hülkenberg still has a healthy lead. Not if he makes a mistake, though. It's not extreme, but it definitely gives him a little bit of breathing room. Going on board with Alonso again. Can he make a move? Fernando Alonso's up into fourth, and he has a fast car. Now he's going to challenge for a podium position. As behind, Felipe Massa is going to try and make his move on Lewis, but he gets loose out of the corner. He's got Newgarden on his rear bumper. That Corvette has a lot of speed, but not a lot of grip. Here he is on Lewis Hamilton. He moves right. Newgarden wasn't close enough to follow Felipe Massa. Can he finish the move on Lewis Hamilton? The man who snubbed him of his 2008 World Championship. Not going to snub him of 5th place here at the Nürburgring. Now it's Newgarden's turn to try and get around Lewis. Lewis let Fernando through, and now looks like his glass house has just been discovered. One pass, suddenly everyone gets through as long as one car can get through. This mid-pack's been very competitive and very fun to watch so far. We've only gotten 12.5 minutes just about through this race now. It's Kimi Räikkönen up in 8th, not even Bottas. Bottas had a contact earlier, which is sadly seeing him further back the pack, and he was making good progress too, so that's a shame. Nonetheless. If there are any viewers in here, I don't have a tally of that. You're more than welcome to ask a question or pop in the chat. I'll take a look at that when I have a chance. Lewis Hamilton's lost a lot of ground to Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso, but Massa has a fast car too. And no one's going to be on the radio to tell Felipe that Fernando is faster than you, so it's going to be a straight fight between these two drivers with a storied history. Jarno Trulli now is under pressure from Alonso. In reality, every time I do one of these, Fernando is just stupid quick. I wonder if this game actually takes into account the names you give drivers. But Giovinazzi is now trying to pressure Hülkenberg. Can he get good grip out of the corner? He has a mid-engine car. Does he have enough of a slipstream on Hülkenberg? Hülkenberg seems to be holding it down. Will Alonso make a dive? No, he will not. Alonso is ahead of Jarno Trulli now. He's in the podium positions. Little check on the field here as Räikkönen up to 6th. Newgarden gets passed by Räikkönen. He's got a good car, but he's just been struggling as his title rival in the last few seasons of IndyCar, Palou, seized the rear wing of him now. Ford's going to have to work on providing a better car for next week. Sonoda struggling outside of the points. This will be an F1 style point system. I did not make that clear. As Daniel Kvyat has just had a solid little race in the Porsche. Nothing to write home about, but nothing to be ashamed of either. Castro Neves was one of the cars that made contact, forcing an early pit stop. Valtteri Bottas, running P19 at the moment, was one of those cars as well. He finds himself still at the back of the pack. His Audi maybe not as quick as the Corvette, Finland team will have to look into providing upgrades throughout this season. As you can see, some physical paint damage to that car. Nico Hülkenberg still currently holds the lead from Giovinazzi, who has a fierce Fernando Alonso behind him. Felipe Massa is going to look for a way around Jarno Trulli. I'm thinking maybe down into turn 1. It looks like he absolutely took out that baller in the final chicane now. Here we are coming through the final turn. Can he keep this Corvette under control out of the final corner? He drifts on exit. We still have a dry circuit. Pulls out of the slipstream for a short period of time. Back in the slipstream. And I see wiper blades. It looks like we have water on the circuit now. How heavy is it going to be? Let's put on our little rain meter. On the far left of the screen is the rain meter. We have drivers that did initiate wipers, some that didn't. Looks like we have rain in certain parts of the circuit. And in case you're wondering, all the drivers use TCS. But yeah, you see there they use 80% or like 90% throttle, so I have the power on the cars turned up, so they're still going quick. Raikkonen's got his wiper blades on, Alonso has his wiper blades on, as does Newgarden. Hard tires are holding up well for all the drivers. Some drivers with more fuel than others. Catch Neves and Bottas did not choose to fill up very much, if at all, as Nico Hülkenberg finds himself on track for another fastest lap. Looks like they're turning up the pace with potential rain threats. As Hülkenberg has pulled out a gap to second place, which is now held by Fernando Alonso, who's made his way around Giovinazzi. As now the Italians might be dueling it out to who gets to be the lead Ferrari. But they've got bigger problems. And that's a problem in the shape of one Felipe Massa. Alex Palou now finds himself running 6th as he's gotten around Kimi Raikkonen. He's going to be a problem as well. Looks like Spain is having an incredible run so far. Germany not so much, as Vettel only finds himself 15th, yet Nico Hülkenberg leads the race. He has more fuel than Alonso, and he has more tires. Palou has the fastest lap of the race currently. That would be 1 point to him. We've seen small periods of rain, not enough to actually wet the track. It's been very gloomy, so we'll have to see what the weather forecast has in store for us for the next 40 minutes of this race. Fernando Alonso has the fastest lap in store, and I'm almost able to guarantee you that whatever he has in store for Hülkenberg isn't going to be something he wants to see. Is he making the move already? Look, he's going for the dive. Fernando Alonso down the inside of Hülkenberg. They make contact. There's no damage to either car. Alonso. Hülkenberg has the inside of the next corner. Alonso tries to hang it out wide. but he's been shown the door, and the door was shut, slammed closed on him. Hulkenberg not trying to let Alonso through anytime soon. And when I say Alonso's always good, he is. Oh, but he gets into the back of Hulkenberg. They both have damage. Are they going to peel down to the pits now to get repairs? They are. Fernando Alonso deep into the braking zone. That's going to have a huge effect on their two's races. They were doing so well, but now they've got to repair damage. And Antonio Giovinazzi has entered the lead. Although for Alonso and Hulkenberg, they did eventually have to make a pit stop at some point in this race. But I don't think either of them can make it to the end on fuel, so they're going to be stuck to a two-stop strategy, while potentially the Ferraris, if they can just extend a little bit more, might be able to pull off the one-stop. Both drivers have chosen to fill their tanks to 89% for Hulkenberg, 98% for Alonso. He's not risking any fuel scares here. Oh, Massa's really struggling out of the corners. Italy 1-2. Who would have seen that? It looked like Alonso was going to steal the lead from Hulkenberg. He had it at one point, but we saw it before with Neves and Bottas going a little too opportunistic into that specific chicane can cause damage that will ruin your race. This has given the Italian boys an incredible chance to get a win. And they should have more than enough fuel to do a one-stop. As should the other two. There's rain on the circuit. There's rain on the circuit. It is raining. Giovinazzi holds the lead. We have rain on our meter. It's nothing significant, nothing substantial. It is still slick condition out there. Will any drivers be caught out? Certain parts of the circuit are wetter than others. Significant. It's dry over where the S's are at. The Schumacher S's are still dry. And Giovinazzi has left the wet part of the circuit now. There's a small section of the track which is currently wet. I don't believe there is any cause for an intermediate tire yet, as most parts of the track are still completely dry. But if we end up with a situation where there are parts of the track that are too wet for the slicks, but then parts of the track that are too dry for the inters, we could see a real interesting tire strategy, or tire conundrum, tire whatever it is, problem for all the drivers showing up. Excuse my commentary, I am a bit of a dumbass. This has been good racing. This has been good racing. We've been treated to good racing. We're quote-unquote blessed to be able to have such good racing so far. To have some super chat from me, look at those. Bootsy, these are AI. With real drivers' names. If I actually got these drivers to do this, I would have a lot more than 50 subscribers. Giovinazzi holds down the fort and truly has Felipe Massa problems, as it seems that the track has dried out. We don't have any wet patches, with the exception, not even the pit lane. Track's completely dry. That's going to help out the likes of Fernando Alonso, who is struggling way behind Hulkenberg, who he came in with. But we saw his pace earlier. There's no doubt that he'll manage to recover points if he can continue his pace. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment there. I do my best for commentary. As you can tell, I'm not getting a job to do Fox, NBC, or Sky Sports anytime soon, but I do what I can. It's better than better than nothing. I've decided it's a little easier to do these later in the quote-unquote night or morning, because, funnily enough, the majority of my viewers tend to be international, so if I do this in a regular time for me, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning for them, so... You're right. I guess there could be some US viewers here. It's kind of tough, though, trying to balance that out. Figuring out the prime time. Giovinazzi is 4/10 purple. He is showing up with the pace here. But no, it is definitely tough to gauge who's watching. And I'm trying to keep this series going. I have a problem where I'll do this with just straight up F1 drivers, and then after 4 races abandon it. But I'm going to try and keep this one going. I just got to remember to do it. Massa's also on track for personal best. But what about Alex Palou? Currently with the fastest lap in the race. He has quite a gap to the leaders. But as we've seen, one of the fastest, if not the fastest car on track. But Kimi Räikkönen doing an incredible job of trying to keep up. He's got Kyle Larson behind him. And Newgarden behind him. Daniel Kvyat holding himself a points position as Sebastian Vettel. Front damage. Where did he pick that up from? Looks like him and Lewis might have gotten into each other, but Vettel did make the overtake. It is just about the halfway point in the race, so Vettel isn't completely screwed. He's just going to make an earlier pit stop than he would have liked to. And he has front wing, front end damage, and he's still going to go for the move on Yuki Tsunoda. He's already got front damage, so if he makes contact, all he can do is screw Tsunoda over. Can't hurt himself any more than he's already been hurt. Can Alonso keep it clean on Lewis this time? Oh, that looked like to be contact, but no damage to Fernando Alonso's car, and this will see him up into the points as Vettel and Lewis make their hopefully only pit stops unless the rain requires new tires. Giovinazzi's very good in the first half of the lap. So is Jarno Trulli. Felipe Massa not really been able to make much of an impression recently. Neither has Alex Palou, fastest lap of the race, but Kimi Räikkönen has been showing up. In fact, he is also 2/10 up on Palou's best lap, which is the best lap of the race. Looks like Räikkönen finding late run pace. Gonna try and pressure the Spanish driver. And taking a quick look through the fuel, there don't appear to be any cars that can do the race without stopping. The Alpines are relatively close, but not quite. It'd be close. They could try and stretch it and not make a pit stop to make up positions. There's no way of knowing. I don't think it's possible. Valtteri Bottas, did he take enough fuel during his pit stop for early damage to make the end of the race? Looks like he'll be close. Oh, and Antonio Giovinazzi spins from the lead and looks like he's collected nobody, thankfully. He rejoins the track safely. Jarno Trulli takes the lead. What an event. Giovinazzi bins it from the lead. Recovers his car back onto the track. He just made a mistake. Did he take too much curb and drop it? Let's get an instant replay there. On board with the Italian driver here. Has a nice little lead. Gets into the corner. Hits the curb. Gets onto this curb. Takes too much of it. Gets airborne. Spins the car. Just about collects his teammate and Felipe Massa, but manages to keep the car together. As Jarno Trulli now takes over as the leader, and Felipe Massa got to close in on him with that close call there. It's a two-man battle for the lead, and Giovinazzi still has third place, but Alex Palou, not far behind, sees the opportunity and has chose to leave Raikkonen behind in attempts for the podium. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen something like that happen. Giovinazzi's gonna have to be pissed after that. That's such a kicker. Doing great, leading the race, leading a good portion of the race. Just took too much curb, landed, dropped the car on the grass, and it's incredible how Massa and Trulli managed to avoid that. I could have sworn no one got damaged from that incident either. He did a great job. Those two did a great job of getting around him, and luckily there were only two cars needed to pass by, so Giovinazzi didn't have to sit in the grass and wait for cars to pass by, which would have been really terrible for him. Truly a quarter of a second up on Palou's fastest lap at the moment, as Fernando Alonso is all the way up to 7th. We see he's just past Joseph Newgarden, and now has Kyle Larson to pass, who spent a majority of this race behind teammate Newgarden, but has apparently found some pace as he has quite a gap to Fernando Alonso here. All attention now on the leader, Jarno Trulli, over 2/10, almost 3/10 purple. Will he make the same mistake his teammate made not but a lap ago? Here comes the Ferrari into the chicane. Their clean Massa made a look. Trulli takes curb, but not too much curb, and is going to retain the lead. No accidents here for Jarno Trulli. Felipe Massa did get a clean drive out of the corner. Is he going to be close enough? He pulls out of the slipstream, he pulls back in. I don't know if he has enough room to make a move. Here he comes. Plays it safe, plays it safe. No move made. Trulli has so much more tire left on that car. Which is weird, because I thought the Ferrari was known for burning its tires up, but not in the hands of Jarno Trulli, or even Giovinazzi, who spun his car. Raikkonen trying to hold on to Palou, trying to catch back up as he wants to make a fight for that podium. Quick look at the back of the pack. Valtteri Bottas has caught himself up to Helio Castroneves, and they almost made contact in the same corner that sent him to the pits earlier in the race. Valtteri Bottas has made his way around Helio Castroneves. Can he get Takuma Sato before turn 1? And maybe his former Mercedes teammate in Formula 1 of Lewis Hamilton as well. Sato has more straight line than Lewis. He's looking to make a move down the inside. He's taken the inside line, but I don't think he's close enough. Valtteri Bottas now we're on board. Does he try for a move out there? Oh, and Sato's made contact with Hamilton, forcing his way through. No damage for either car somehow. That's crazy. I could have sworn one of those cars was going to have damage after that. But both of them managed to, I guess you could say, keep it clean. As sadly, both German drivers finding themselves 14th to 15th, having made their pit stop, but still not where they want to be, as Trulli finds himself 7.5 tenths purple on Alex Palou's time. Felipe Massa can't be far back, but what Massa doesn't have is anywhere near as much fuel as Jarno Trulli. Trulli has not been afraid of the curbs, and Massa's going to peel down into the pits. He doesn't have enough fuel to make another tour around the circuit. Can Jarno Trulli get a good run out of the final corner and steal the fastest lap away from Palou? Here he comes to the line. It's a new fastest lap by 21 thousandths, just 200ths. Jarno truly has the fastest lap point. He may have only ever won one Grand Prix in his F1 career at Monaco in questionable fashion, but he is showing that he definitely has pace here today at the Nürburgring. Antonio Giovinazzi is going to temporarily take back P2 as Felipe Massa has just finished his stop and exits the pits less than 10 seconds behind those two, fighting for third right now. Pallou's done a good job of trying to recover from a bad starting position to no fault of his own. But Giovinazzi already made one mistake this race, doesn't want to make another mistake by letting Palou through. A check in on the Alpines, currently running 11th and 12th. Do not look to have enough fuel to make the race without having a pit stop, but like always, you just have to see. Threat of rain prominent throughout the whole race, but it looks sunny to me. Truly has such a huge gap to P2. He's looking to run away with this one. The Ferrari has looked to be a great car all race long. So has the Corvette. And so has the V12 Vantage. Specifically the one of Palou, who finds himself behind Giovinazzi, fighting for that position on track. None of the drivers in the top three have made their stop yet. Felipe Massa looks great. He has made his pit stop, finds himself fourth. Raikkonen finds himself fifth as another one of the drivers who is yet to stop. But Fernando Alonso, P6, has made his pit stop and should be able to make it to the end of the race with the fuel in his tank and the tires on his car. Larson, to the best of my knowledge, is yet to pit, as is his teammate Newgarden. Daniel Kvyat also yet to pit. Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly, Simon Pagenaud yet to pit. Lando Norris, I believe, yet to pit. And then Hülkenberg, Vettel, Sato, Bottas, Hamilton, and Catherine Evans, I do believe are all pitted. I don't know about Sato, but I know the others that I mentioned did make their pit stops. I guess we can check the lap counter to see when they had their pit stop. Although, we have a little glitch. It says Truly is either just to pit or is, making a stopless lap. But the more you shuffle the drivers, that little P pit logo just falls down below the actual amount of laps that they will display. They only display your last 10 laps, I believe. Yeah, I got that right. Truly with a comfortable lead. Giovinazzi fending off Alex Palou. Giovinazzi, he believes he's got a faster car than Truly. It was a 2:16.9. Truly set a 2:19.7. 3 seconds slower. Truly followed up the fastest lap of the race with a lap 3 seconds slower, which is very odd. That's the nicest way to put it. Very odd. Drivers, they don't always go as fast as they can. They just choose when they want to go as fast as they can. And other times maybe they're just trying to fuel save. Bright green, bright blue skies, luscious thick white clouds. Seemingly no threats of rain. It's beautiful outside. And the Ferraris are taking the most advantage of that as they can. Sadly, Giovinazzi made a mistake in this corner a few laps ago that cost him the lead and this comfortable gap he had to the car behind him, which now has a decent chance at making an overtake, but he just can't get the drive out of the corner. Just too loose on exit. But he steals the fastest lap back from Jarno Trulli. He's going to have to make a dive on Antonio Giovinazzi if he wants to get that position and start chasing after Trulli. If Giovinazzi has not done a terrible job himself. Giovinazzi's trying to make up for the mistake he made earlier in the race where he spun in the final chicane of the circuit. Felipe Massa has made his pit stop. Does not have to stop again. So he could be net leading right now as Fernando Alonso makes his way past both Raikkonen and Massa. And Fernando has made a pit stop. Sadly, as it goes right now, Felipe, Fernando is faster than you. And perhaps Kimi as well. But Kimi is yet to pit, so he will drop down the order at some point. And future races, the grid will be determined based off of, again, a random position generator. Trulli out of the Schumacher S's. Giovinazzi seemingly closing that gap as he was 6 seconds faster than his teammate that last lap. But does that pay dividends in the fuel? We're going to take a look at the fuel in Trulli's car. Marginally more in Trulli's car as he's allowing Giovinazzi and Palou to close in. Trulli now coming out of the final corner on track to set another rather slow lap time here. Here comes Trulli across the line. It looks like it's going to be a 2:23. 2:22.809. Giovinazzi 2:16.7. Alex Palou is out of fuel. He is entering the pits. Teammate Fernando Alonso has more than half a tank left, just under half a tank left, but just over half his tires left, his rear tires. Fernando Alonso will be struggling with his tires as he sets the fastest lap of the race at 2:16.2. Steals it from his teammate, who's now finding himself on pit exit, who didn't change his tires, still has the same set he started the race with. Interesting, the drivers electing not to change their tires. There's no way I can force them to. I don't know if you can, like, make tires mandatory. I'll have to check that out. So I would spice things up if they had to use more than one compound. And I'll try and implement that for the next round if possible. Only way to get them to use another compound, I believe, is to have it rain. Which is possible. As we saw, we had light rain earlier. Holy shit. It's more messages that just appeared out of nowhere. Alright. I'm not gonna make this work again. Huh. Just got a notification saying 8 messages instead of 4, but don't know what that was all about. Anyways, Trulli holds the lead. His teammate still close behind. Giovinazzi no longer has Alex Palou behind him. He has the other Spaniard behind him, and he has him behind him. Yet he still does have to make a pit stop. Felipe Massa's tires look about the same as Fernando's. But Kimi Raikkonen behind them has much better tires, but much worse fuel. Alex Palou, slightly better tires. Fuel didn't really make a difference. Daniel Kvyat has had some of the best fuel consumption of any car in this race, but it's been Pierre Gasly and Simon Pagenaud who have outclassed the field. They have just shy of a quarter tank left, meaning unless they manage to fuel save a little bit, they're going to have to come down to the pits with very little time left in this race. And their gap to the American of Larson and the German of Hulkenberg is not very large, so if they have to make that late race pit stop, they're going to forfeit those points positions, those all-encompassing, very important points positions. Jarno Trulli and teammate Antonio Giovinazzi will either be coming in at the end of this lap or at the end of the preceding lap on lap 21. Let's see if Trulli signals to make a pit stop this lap. On comes the turn signal. Jarno Trulli will dive down. This is not F1 style pit boxes. Everyone, quote unquote, gets an individual pit box. So, both Ferrari drivers can get serviced. Both Italian drivers getting serviced this lap. Trulli had a little more fuel. This is going to give Fernando Alonso the lead. Here he is coming out of the final chicane, about to enter the final corner of the circuit. Neither of the Italian drivers have made it to their stalls. Here comes Trulli in for a service, and now in comes Giovinazzi. Fernando Alonso has taken the lead of the race. Which Ferrari driver exits the pits first? Trulli exits with 32% of his fuel. Neither driver decided to make a tire change. Trulli comes out. Here he comes. Fernando Alonso around the outside. Can Trulli maintain the lead? Jarno Trulli has the lead. Fernando Alonso goes down the inside. Jarno Trulli almost holds on to the lead, but Fernando Alonso with significantly worse tires just manages to find a way through as Felipe Massa has overtaken Giovinazzi, who still holds P4, and Palou has a lot of work to do if he wants to catch up. Gasly and Pagenaud still find themselves on circuit. Have not made a pit stop yet. Larson finds himself currently sitting just outside the points. Raikkonen has made his pit stop. He has the fuel, and he's trying to challenge Hulkenberg for a points position. He's had a solid race. So, his teammate, maybe not so much. Valtteri's on a bit of a recovery drive. Early damage for him and Castroneves put two seemingly top-running cars out of contention of anything. As Lewis Hamilton finds himself all the way down in 19th, teammate Lando Norris in 15th. McLaren's going to have to see if they can do anything to make that car any faster, because it is currently crap. Crap's not going to cut it. Fernando Alonso, as the skies draw gray, leads at the Nürburgring. And not only has he passed Trulli, he has gapped Trulli, proving that his tire condition ain't mean shit. Ferrari's going to have to try and bring an upgrade. They can only do so much to their car. Chevrolet are representing Brazil, as that's one of the two manufacturers that runs Brazilian stock cars. I believe it is Toyota and Chevrolet, and Ford's representing America, and Toyota's representing Japan, so I thought, perfect, let's throw Chevrolet in for Brazil. The Audi being Finland. They had a good livery. That was my only reason for that, really. Daniel Kvyat, running P6, has to forfeit his position to take fuel. I'm sure this is definitely not something he's been looking forward to. He's got to come in, get a splash of fuel, and immediately get back out of the pits. Hopefully, for his sake, he retains a points position. Here comes Nico Hulkenberg, making his way down the straight. Kvyat now still has not reached the stall. Here he is, he's in. They're putting fuel in the car. He's currently in 11th. They released the Porsche. Where does he rejoin? He's going to rejoin in 11th. If the Alpines don't make it to the end, Kvyat could still find himself finishing in the points. And Joseph Newgarden's had a disappointing plummet to the back of the field here. Ford has some major work to do with that car. Fernando Alonso finds himself leading by a damn near illegal amount of time. 10 minutes to go. Will there be any rain to change the outcome of this race? Alonso has done a great job all race. These are 60-minute races, by the way. I may not have made that clear at the start. Alonso has done a great job and leads the race at this point. Felipe Massa finds himself on the podium because of a mistake that Giovinazzi made where he dumped it out of the final chicane on the track. Alex Palou finds himself in 5th, rightfully so. Pierre Gasly and Simon Pagenaud are both fighting the devil here on fuel mileage. That RS01 Renault with a Nissan motor, the GTR engine, the VR38, have such incredible fuel economy that they are almost about to make the whole race on a single tank. Can they do it? At this rate, if either of them do it, it looks like it's going to be Pagenaud. Pagenaud has a little more fuel. Oh, so little more fuel than Pierre Gasly. I think they're going to come down at the end of 24 or 25, and they will end up seating positions, finding them probably just outside the points. Fernando Alonso tries to extend his lead. If there's one thing those two Alpines have to pray for, it's a torrential downpour at the end of this race. Because then they essentially get a free pit stop, because everyone will have to put on the intermediate. Some cars have ripped their tires apart, others make it look like their tires have only done a few laps of the circuit. Some of these cars do have numbers on them. I didn't feel like putting in a shit ton of effort with deliveries. Gosh! Those wheels may be a little bad, but the Brazil car, very good looking. Next round of this championship will be taking place in Austria and in Spielberg at the Red Bull Ring. That is a track where it is known to rain quite a lot. I'm surprised we didn't get any here. And no, we will not be running the Nordschleife layout of the Nürburgring. Mainly because the AI just do dumb shit. Excuse my language, but they do dumb stuff around the Nürburgring Nordschleife layout. What they tend to like doing is not pit when they need fuel and then do half a lap with no fuel in their tanks. And for anyone who's wondering what Nordschleife stands for, I'm pretty sure it translates from Deutsch to English as North Loop. So if you don't want to pronounce Nordschleife because you're afraid you're going to butcher it and say it like Nordschleife 550, which I've actually heard someone say, just call it the North Loop or the North Course. Or Green Hell, that works as well. That even rhymed, I didn't mean to make that rhyme. With time coming to a close and this race coming to an end, looks like rain never really had a significant impact on it, which is kind of disappointing. I wanted rain to shuffle things up, as I'm sure anybody watching would have wanted as well, but I'm not saying anything yet. It's not over to the Fat Lady Sings, and we still have 5 minutes of racing. Alonso leads Trulli, who leads Massa, who leads Giovinazzi, who leads Alex Palou. If the race ended with these drivers in these positions, I do believe it would be Spain leading the... what would we call that? Instead of the Constructors, I guess it's just the Country's Championship. Fernando Alonso currently has 26 points. Funnily enough, that's the number on his car. I guess they have it there because that's what he plans on scoring every week for points. Alonso currently has 26 points to his name in his position. Palou has 10. That would give Spain 36 points in the country's championship. Italy would then be the next closest team, as they, I believe, if the race ends the way the positions are set now, would have 30, with Trulli scoring 18 and Giovinazzi scoring 12. Then at that point, it's a good question which country gets third, as Brazil is currently touted to have 15 points. I don't believe any other country is going to be able to fight that. Pierre Gasly's coming in, so has his teammate Simon Pagenaud. That's going to shake things up. Where do those two drivers come out? Here comes Kimi Räikkönen. He is making his way through the final corner as we speak. Following him, a little whiles back, Daniel Kvyat. Pagenaud is in. They're putting fuel in the car. Gasly putting fuel in the car, and he's out. They're out. They're out. They're out. That was a quick stop. I believe they are going to come out in front of Kimi Räikkönen. They do exit in front, but do they have enough speed to keep him behind? Räikkönen gets around Pagenaud. Can he get around Pierre Gasly? No, not quite yet. France has retained points, albeit 5. That is points from a team in a car that I expected to be nowhere. Räikkönen's going to want to pass the pair of them so that he can overtake France in the championship, as he'd score one more point than France would. Daniel Kvyat, solid race, but nothing he can do. Kyle Larson finds himself in 6th. Impressive job from him so far. With the way the track looks at the moment, it just seems like the heavens are waiting to come down at any moment now, but I don't see any windshield wipers, I don't see any rain, and I tell you one thing, if there's one thing Fernando Alonso's thinking inside that cockpit, it's please stay dry for just another 4 minutes. He just needs 4 more minutes. In fact, he only needs a little over 2. Fernando Alonso now is coming through the final chicane on the penultimate lap. Every car should have a chance, with the exception of possibly 19th, whoever that is currently, to finish on the lead lap. Fernando Alonso starts what's going to be the final lap of the race. Trulli. Kyle Larson's going to have Nico Hülkenberg to deal with all of this lap. As Hülkenberg struggles for traction. Kimi Räikkönen's to the inside of Pierre Gasly. This is for the overtake on France. Here he goes. He's squeezing Gasly out wide. Kimi Räikkönen flying the flag for Finland as he makes his final tour around the circuit in P8. Nico Hulkenberg is making his final tour, having started on pole position behind Kyle Larson. Upgrades will work in a very simple manner. Depending on the performance of certain vehicles in certain races, teams will be allocated time to work on either their engine, their chassis, or their aerodynamics package. They'll be given a certain amount of time, depending on where their lead car finishes in the race. Spain will not be allowed to touch their Aston Martin V12 Vantage ahead of the next race. If Fernando Alonso can just keep it together for a few more corners, all he has to do is not repeat the mistake made by Antonio Giovinazzi, and he should see himself taking the checkered flag. Lewis Hamilton, sadly, not the way he would have wanted to, is the first driver to take the checkered flag. McLaren has a lot of work to do as they finished a disappointing 18th and 19th. Fernando Alonso out of the final corner, makes his run down the line. Fernando Alonso wins in Germany. Jarno Trulli finishes second. Felipe Massa rounds off the podium, followed by Antonio Giovinazzi, Alex Palou, Kyle Larson, and Nico Hulkenberg. Kimi Räikkönen now making his way around the final corner to take an impressive 8th after having had a appalling starting position. He crosses the line, takes the checker, takes home 4 points. Pierre Gasly manages to take home points for France, making the country proud. Simon Pagenaud takes 10th, just fends off Kvyat and Newgarden, who look to make a move to try and take 11th. Joseph Newgarden will be disappointed with that performance as he does not have points to show for it. Yuki Tsunoda, Toyota, has a lot of work to do with that car. P13 for him. Helio Castroneves has to be disappointed knowing his teammate just made the podium, and he has to settle for 14th. As does Valtteri Bottas. His teammate finished in 8th, and he's going to finish in 15th due to early contact, forcing him into a 2-stop strategy. Sebastian Vettel gained, I think, a position that whole race. Takuma Sato is going to find himself in 17th as Lando Norris will be the last driver to cross the line. McLaren had an appalling shock horror race, and I'm sure they'll be doing a lot ahead of next week's race to try and fix that car. There you have it. Fernando Alonso is the winner of the inaugural GT World Invitational Challenge, or whatever the hell I called it. 26 laps, the fastest lap, an incredible performance from the Spaniard. This gives the lead to Spain in the country's championship, followed closely by Italy, and then not so closely by Brazil. And the pace car is, sitting in the pits, doing its thing. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Hopefully we'll catch you next time on June 27th. Your finishing order: Alonso, Trulli, Massi, Giovinazzi, Palou. Changes to car names, that's annoying. I'm going to have to say Alonso, Trulli, Massi, Giovinazzi, Palou, Larson, Hulkenberg, Räikkönen, Gasly, Pagenaud, Kvyat, Newgarden, Tsunoda, Castroneves, Bottas, Vettel, Sato, Norris, Hamilton, and, well, the pace car. Thank you everyone who tuned in. I look forward to seeing you in the next race, and pray for McLaren, because they need to find, well, they need to find Jesus. to try and make that car a lot better than it was. Signing out. Everybody have a good night, good morning, good whatever the hell it is for you.